Cabinet Secretary, you said that A9 is a key priority, but clearly meeting climate change targets is also a key priority as well. And my assessment would be that the 2030 net zero target is under severe pressure for Scotland to meet. And indeed, transport sector, in terms of emissions reductions, is going to be a key priority as well. And I just wonder if the Cabinet Secretary has identified any conflict between the project completion and meeting our climate targets, particularly in the context of 2030.
I think it's a really good point and something which I considered very closely. And I suppose that's one of the things about transport and net zero being in the same portfolio, that you've got the same budget to try and balance between these issues. I think my view with the A9 is that it is a long-standing commitment. It has a safety imperative. It has the opportunity for economic regeneration, but actually it's more than that. It's economic prosperity. And I will always, with my climate and environment responsibilities, seek to find the finest possible balance between those competing interests. And I think that we will need roads in a net zero Scotland. Yes, I hope that they will be driven by low emissions, electric, hydrogen vehicles, but we will need roads, they will need to be safe, and they will help to ensure the economic prosperity of the country.
Thanks, Cabinet Secretary. Just a final question. You mentioned economic regeneration, and we've quite rightly focused on the actual road, but I wonder if the relevant road infrastructure will be fit for purpose in terms of, you mentioned electric charging points, indeed service stations, and whether they might actually link to the third sector, local community groups rather than multinationals. I wonder if you can just maybe explain the kind of wider vision for the road.
Yes, absolutely. So it's certainly my intention that there will be ample opportunity for recharging along the route, and this sits very closely alongside the work that I'm doing in another part of the portfolio on the rollout of EV chargers and our ambitions to go from around the 2,400 mark, although that might not be the right figure, up to 6,000. There is a lot of interest in the availability of service stations and other rest opportunities along the A9, and I absolutely understand that. I know myself, when I'm driving it, you would welcome the opportunity to stop safely, and I think there are also issues for women and other vulnerability issues for being able to do so. The provision of service stations, etc., is not something which is directly the responsibility of Transport Scotland. You know, they are funded to deliver their statutory obligations, and the delivery of service stations is not one of them. However, this is raised with Ms Hislop and I a lot, and it would certainly be my intention to do what we could to encourage the development of these along the route, because I do acknowledge their importance.